Hello. Today I'm going to be discussing intelligence. Um, Psychologists believe that there are at least three types of intelligence. Those types are general intelligence, specific intelligence, and partial intelligence. Uh, General is like just your average intelligence that an average student would have, that an average person would have. Specific intelligence is a step above that, um, where the levels are higher. Uh, and then your partial intelligence is, I guess, street smarts. Um, People with partial intelligence are more likely to be able to read and define like a person's uh, facial features, like whether they're frowning and what that means, or if they're smiling and what that means. Um, they have a deeper view of the world and the people that are in that world. Um, I've found that general and specific are usually what IQ tests measure. Um, some strengths or IQ tests measure a person's ability uh, to learn. IQ tests measure a person's ability to learn. It measures short-term memory, analytical thinking, the person's mathematical ability, and that person's sporadical recognition. Um, some strengths of these tests are that it allows teachers and parents to identify students that might need further help or students that maybe need to be a little more challenged. Um, it allows those students to work on their strengths and become better and perhaps get a better job involving those strengths. Um, it also points out areas that need to be worked on and improved. Uh, uh, some of the weaknesses are that in children that might have the a lower intelligence level, their self-esteem can be affected, and with low self-esteem, other problems can come into effect for them. People that might have a bigger IQ result, sometimes they can become egotistical and think that they can kind of just ride through life based on their intelligence. Uh, they should have they should have earned, I guess, a free ride. Um, and the biggest weakness for these IQ tests is that they only measure a very limited part of intelligence, because intelligence isn't just one thing, it is multiple things. for instance, it's not just the ability to learn, but it has to do with a person's level of creativity and uh, their ability to think outside the box and stuff like that. Um, defining intelligence could raise some problems, mainly because one person's definition of intelligence could be completely different from another's. Um, Everyone has their own strengths, their own weaknesses, uh, that could be completely different from the person sitting next to them. An example is in school, I was fantastic in English, but I was absolutely horrible in math. Whereas my sister, who's quite a few years younger than me, was great at all of it. Uh, I I struggled, but she seemed to just ride on through with no problems. Um, and to finish this off, I think that with intelligence you have wisdom. Reverse that. With intelligence you have wisdom, but you. What am I saying? Just because you have wisdom doesn't mean. Or just because you're intelligent doesn't mean you have wisdom. Uh, I think wisdom a lot of the time depends on the situation that you're in. Um, you can know every little detail in the textbook that you just read, but when it comes to something about life, like raising kids, you could have no clue. Um, and I think that wisdom is it in its own self a type of intelligence. Uh, like take people who how do I explain that? People who I guess live on the outside of society, they are more accustomed to the streets and what has to be done in order to survive living there. Whereas taking someone from a a good job or a good home or uh, take them out of the good situation that they're in and just immediately throw them into that other kind of life, they're not going to be as likely to survive simply because they don't have the wisdom that someone else does. Uh, but yeah, that's basically all of it. Thank you.